What is going on, everyone? Back again with another video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the Chicago Cubs. Now, the Cubs have been kind of at the same spot for the last couple of seasons. Let's take a look at their last 5 seasons right here. Obviously, they came off that World Series win in 2016, and they've had some kind of postseason appearances after that. But since then, they kind of had a rebuild phase after 2020, I want to say. In the last 2 seasons, they've had 83 wins, and they've been pretty, mediocre, I want to say. Because they didn't really make a ton of moves, in those 2 off seasons. But this year, they made a lot of moves in these off season that I think is going to help them a lot, and they probably could win the division in the Central this season. So before we get into moves, let's talk about their guys in the top 100. They have 7 players on the top 100, most out of any teams. I think Seattle is also their team that has 7 players on the top 100. So very impressive. It's going to be a long one, but let's go through all these guys in the top 100. So coming in at number 22 is Matt Shaw, obviously a first round pick in 2023. And we know Matt Shaw because of the Premier 12, obviously played incredible during that tournament. One of the big reasons the US was able to get so far in that tournament. And one of the reasons they were even able to qualify for the top 4 in that group stage. But anyways, looking at his actual minor league stats, 2023, he was absolutely incredible. I mean, 357. You look at his 2024 stats, basically batting at 300 in AAA, 284. I mean, this kid's going to be incredible. I'm very excited for him to get called up this season, and I think he's going to be absolutely incredible for the Cubs. Matt Shaw is definitely one to keep out for. I'm kind of glad they never traded him when they were doing all these offseason acquires and trades and things like that. But yeah, Matt Shaw is definitely going to be a top talent when he gets to the league. So coming in at number 34 on the top 100 is Owen Casey. Now, he's been in the minors for a little bit at this time. Last year in 2024, he was in AAA, batted at 278, so honestly not horrible at all. He also played his most games in his career at 127 per season, which is definitely good. Basically getting about a hit per game, so definitely a good player. He's obviously an outfielder, so you could definitely fill a lot of positions in that outfield. Yeah, definitely a solid player to get called up. Now coming in at number 42 is Cade Horton. He was the Cubs' first round pick in 2022, and honestly 2023 he had a really good season. Goes into 2024, he didn't really pitch that much. I'm pretty sure he got injured at some point throughout this season, so yeah, he just didn't really have a good time in AAA, obviously after he came back, after he got hurt, before he got hurt. But yeah, 7 ERA, obviously not good. His 2023 campaign much better in single A, high A, and double A. So if he's able to pitch a full season in AAA, I think he could definitely have a good one. He's just got to need more experience at that level, to be honest. I think that's what it is for him. So we'll see if he gets called up. We'll kind of wait and see on that, but definitely should spend a lot more time in AAA before he gets called up, especially for a pitcher. Coming at number 44 is Moses Ballesteros. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is a catcher, first baseman, and he's been in the minors for a little bit as well. Obviously in 2024 had one of his best seasons, right, in that AA and AAA level. Obviously batted at 281 in AAA and almost a 300 in AA that season, so definitely solid. 124 games played, really good, about a hit per game once again. So another player that could be really useful. Catcher and first base is an interesting combo of positions as well, so definitely excited for this kid to get called up. So moving on to number 55 in the top 100 is James Thrinos. Pretty sure you how to pronounce his name. I mean, you take a look at his 2024 season, 115 games, he's batting a 300, and he did it in AA and AAA. Obviously less of a sample size in the AAA level. Yeah, I mean, he's just absolutely insane. Second baseman and outfielder, so once again, another interesting position combination. But yeah, I mean, he's absolutely ready for the league. I think we'll see how he does in the spring training, because he'll obviously be there, but I do think he could be called up shortly after the season begins if he continues to play this well. Now coming in at 67 is Kevin Alcantara. Now he did get the chance to play in Chicago. He only played 3 games and batted 100, so it wasn't really impressive, but obviously it's not really a good sample size. He only had 1 hit in the 2024 season, so able to get his first MLB hit. Taking a look at his minors though, I mean, you can definitely see why he got the call up, batting at 292 in AAA for 35 games. I think he's a big spring training guy to watch. He's obviously an outfielder, so if he performs pretty well, he'll probably stay with the team, honestly. But he's another one to watch in spring training. But yeah, I think even if he gets called down, I think he would still rip it up in AAA. So I do think he's close to MLB ready and actually playing every day for the team. And then coming in at number 100 on the top 100 is Jefferson Rojas. Now he's currently in high A in 2024. Didn't really bat the best though. In rookie ball, he played pretty well, 303 in 2022. It's kind of going down in average every single season as he continues to get called up, which is obviously not good. Pretty much a hit almost per game in that 2024 campaign. So yeah, definitely an interesting prospect to watch. He's definitely got a lot of time. Figured I mentioned him though because he's on the top 100. Pretty impressive. We'll see how he does in A-ball moving forward, but he's definitely a guy to think about in the future. So those are the 7 players in the top 100. Obviously these guys are all pretty impressive, and I do think a couple of them can get called up to the league this year, which is definitely exciting. So yeah, I mean, you have these guys and you have the guys they signed. That's why I definitely think this team can 100% win the division. Now taking a look at their contract situation, they obviously signed a ton of guys, right? They still have Dansby Swanson on this massive contract that he signed in 2023. Seiyu Suzuki is still here for a couple more seasons as well. James Talon got 2 more seasons. Ian Happ also got 2 more seasons. So 27 is going to be a big year for free agents for them. Obviously, they just acquired Ryan Presley from the Astros, so he's got 1 more season with this team. Nico Nico Horner still here for 2 seasons once again. And then Shota Igmanagba has an interesting contract. He's got team options and player options throughout the whole year, so could be his last season. I really doubt he's going to leave, especially because the options are pretty good at 15 million. Then we got Merriweather and Thompson also on contract. Pretty much everyone else is in arbitration. I know Tucker settled at 15.8 for the team. Technically an arbitration deal though, so we'll kind of wait and see. I hope he gets extended. I mean, this kid is insanely good. Been with the Astros his whole career, first time on a new team. I really do think he needs the extension because he is a free agent next year. He's probably one of the bigger ones as well. But yeah, that pretty much everyone else is in arbitration on this team. And they are paying a couple buyouts. We have Drew Smiley's buyout, David Bodie's buyout, and then Cody Bellinger's buyout. So those are the guys that are currently on a buyout. Now taking a look at the money committed, they have $135.3 million committed to the team. After arbitration, this is supposed to get up to $169 million. This will probably be more, to be honest, if they keep signing guys or they keep going out getting players, because they're definitely making some decent moves to this team that is definitely going to make them a lot better. Now going over their current roster, obviously this roster is pretty solid on paper. I'm just taking a look at the rotation. I think this rotation is pretty strong for the most part. I do like Shoga Igmanagba, Justin Steele are pretty good players. I think those are 1 and 2 for sure. Jamestown has been kind of iffy, I'm not gonna lie. Same with Matt Bodie. I know Javier Assad, they changed him to a closing pitcher, then he's a starting pitcher, so I wonder what they're gonna do with him moving forward. Obviously Jordan Wicks has looked okay as well, and then Ben Brown has been all right. Igmanagba, Steele, Talon will probably obviously be in the rotation, and the rest of the guys are gonna figure out. But moving over to this bullpen, I think the bullpen's really solid. I really like Ryan Plessy as the defined closer, because that was a big problem. This team didn't really have a defined closer. They were kind of switching the role a lot, and it was kind of annoying because you never really know what was going to happen. You had Thompson close some games, you had Keelan close some games, and they had some players that they traded or they got rid of close some games as well. Yeah, bullpen definitely got a lot better, and the key pieces are Presley, Merriweather, Thompson, and Keelan. I think those guys are really solid. But moving on down to the starting 9 right here, I think this is kind of, you know, some of their best attributes about this team. I mean, we just take a look at the positions. Catcher is definitely a struggle for them, but once again, they got the prospect down there. That's a catcher first baseman, so he could get called up right in the system. Obviously, Miguel Maja should start, but they also switched up with Carson Kelly, so these guys will probably switch out most of the games, to be honest. Michael Busch will obviously start at first base. Nico Horner will obviously start at second base. Third base is another question mark as well. They could use a prospect here, but they did sign John Birdie, so maybe he could get the start. And then obviously Dansby Swanson will play shortstop. Then moving on over to the outfield, once again, you got a ton of options out here, which I love. Ian Happ in left field, Pete Crow Armstrong in center, Kyle Tucker in right field, and then Suzuki will probably be the DH. That is a good 4 right there that I really like, and these players will only get better, especially Pete Crow because he's so young. These players will 100% get better. So I really like the starting roster. I think catcher and third base are probably the ones to improve, but you also got the prospects for that as well, which is definitely solid. Now moving over onto the attendance, the 2024 attendance was pretty good for the Cubs. 2.9 million fans at the stadium and almost a 36,000 average, which is just insanely good, especially because they're around a lot of the top teams. They were the 6th best attendance out of 30 teams in the MLB last year. Obviously Chicago is a baseball city, and the Cubs always draw. I mean, even if they're bad, they still always draw, so nothing too surprising around here, to be honest. Now moving over to the 2025 draft, the Cubs have a pretty standard draft, I will say that. There's nothing too crazy about this draft. They did go down 1 position in the draft lottery. They're picking at 17 right now. And then moving on down, no prospect promotion, no compensation picks, no competitive balance A picks. Their second round pick, they picking at 57. And then moving on down to competitive balance B, they don't have one, no compensation picks here. The third round, they have the 91st pick. And then once again, moving on down, no compensation picks here. The 4th round, they have the 122nd pick. And then moving on down, once again, no more compensation picks here. The 5th round, they're going to be picking at 152. And then in the remaining rounds, they will be picking at number 16 through rounds 5 to 20. So it's a pretty standard draft for the Cubs, normal 20 picks. We'll see if they can pick up more talent, add them to the top 100. All right, so moving on over to the prediction for the Cubs, I do think this team is best set up to win the division. I mean, the Central is pretty weak, and I think they're clearly the best team. They've been making the most moves compared to teams like the Brewers and the Cardinals, and even the Reds have made some couple moves. I mean, the Pirates still don't do anything, but I just think they're the best team set up to win the division. I think they added the most pieces, and I do think that this team is ready to take that next step and get back to winning the division. So I think that's my prediction for this team. I do think this team could probably get up to like 88, 90 wins at this point. I mean, obviously they had 83 the last 2 seasons, but those were seasons they really didn't make any moves to really get this team to winning potential. So I do think they could get up to 90 wins. I do think that's possible. But what's your guys' thoughts about the 2025 Chicago Cubs? Let me know in the comment section down below. What's your guys' thoughts about this team? And if any of you guys wondering, yes, I am a Cubs fan, so I do know the most about this team. That's why I went really in depth kind of throughout this whole video. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.